All right, hello everybody, and welcome to yet another game on the Neverending train. I am Kai, your DM, and would our wonderful players love to introduce themselves, starting from the top? Ali?
Hello, I am AliOks. Yes, you can call me Ali for short. And my character is Iaz, the cyan blue bunny, who has seen a lot in his life.
All right, thank you for saying that I can call you Ali. If I fuck up with any of your names or pronouns or anything like that, please correct me straight away, because I am prone to do that. I do apologize. Next in the order, Gently?
Hello, my name is AmongThe GentlyMad, and you can refer to me as Gently or Mad. Either one is fine. Call me anything you want, just don't call me late for dinner. And I will be playing a character that is very nervous because I am very nervous. His name is let me see, let me make sure I've got his voice right down here. He is J Featherton. The J stands for Josiah. Yes. Anyway, I believe I'm ready to go.
Fantastic. And last but certainly not least.
Hi, I'm Bluejay. I'll be playing Qherial Flag, a raptor who is part of mail service and does delivery and stuff, and she's very upbeat, and I will do my best to try to channel that because I'm very nervous.
Mm-hmm.
Wonderful. That's okay. All right, don't worry about being nervous here. Like I specifically went, like, you guys were all talking about being nervous, so I went out of my way to pick a specifically chaotic game. So like there is literally nothing you can do wrong here. Anything you choose, you are welcome to just full on go for it. Last time this happened, a cat got shoved into a mailbox, so you're good.
Oh, awesome. Okay. Well, we have a lot to live up to. Oh my goodness.
All right. Yeah, I was going to say, Gently and Bluejay, if you did actually have pictures of your characters, now this is an excellent time to pop them in the channels. You're welcome to stick them in either Hazelnut Gallery or just in the Dice Roll chat, as long as people can see them. And I have to say, I didn't realize that Iaz was such a cutie. I love them.
Are you for real?
All right. I think now is probably a good time to start the game, and as is usual for the Neverending train, I'm not actually going to start with all of you together at once. And as is unusual for the train, I'm not actually starting with people's arrivals on this next carriage. So, Iaz and Qherial, did I say that right? Qherial? Bluejay, how do you say your character's name again, please?
Qherial.
Qherial, okay. All right. Iaz and Qherial, you two have been on the train for a while. Like, not ages and ages, but you know, you've gone through a couple of carriages, you've worked out that it's a pretty weird place. You haven't yet encountered any other, like, people, though you've met some creatures, characters that you could probably call denizens, because they do seem to live on this train. Qherial, what are you doing on this train? Why are you here? What do you last remember?
So Qherial's been having some pretty weird, vivid dreams, and they've been getting worse. And right before the train appeared to her, she had a dream about dying in a fire. And so, yeah, she got on the train, not really knowing what she was doing, or what she was about to get into.
Entirely fair. No, having a nightmare can be a pretty stressful thing, and you know, if a door appears when you wake up that's just kind of emanating a warm and comforting glow, it's going to be pretty hard to resist. And now you have no idea where the heck you are. You just know that, like, you're in weird places, and then you solve a problem, and then you go through a door, and then you're in another weird place. And you've kind of repeated this a couple of times. You think you're getting the hang of it, until you go through this next door, and there's always just like that little bit of a transition phase as you're walking through the door where you're not really in the old room and you're not quite in the new room yet. You're kind of just surrounded by this warm nothingness, that's warm white nothingness. And usually that's only a split second as you're passing through. But as it happens here, as you actually freeze mid-step, foot off the ground, and you can kind of hear, please wait. Shit, no, please, no. And then your foot falls down again. You stop being frozen and you tumble out. And this is the point when I will move on to Iaz. Iaz, you've also been on this train for a couple of carriages. You think you're getting the hang of it, but I've got to ask you, why are you here? Why did you wind up on the train? What's the last thing you remember?
Excuse me. So he was on his way, on his personal journey to find something or someone. I will not say that, but he was searching, and then it was rough for him. He didn't find what he was looking for a while. And then suddenly a glowing door appeared in front of him. And so he thought maybe that's the gift of fate, maybe that's destiny, maybe that's something that will show him where to look. So he entered.
You entered, and again, like, same as before, you wind up on this train, you solve a problem, you go through a door, and you've been pretty alone up until now, which, considering how your strange search from before was going, can be a bit uncomfortable, but you don't really have much choice but to keep going onwards. And just the same as Qherial, you get to this place, you go to step through a door, and you freeze. And again, that's the exact same, no, please don't crash. And you pass through, and you stumble out. And Qherial and Iaz, you have just arrived at the exact same time, stumbling out of the door behind you before it quickly slams shut. And you find yourself somewhere strange. You're not entirely sure you're meant to be here, because can I get a quick perception check from the pair of you?
Sure.
Josiah,
Josiah,
I promise I will get to you soon enough.
It's okay. I'm just sort of like centering myself right now.
Oh, plus 5.
That's a 12 from Qherial.
Do you roll d20?
Yeah,
right?
it's a d20, so exclamation mark d20 plus whatever your bonus is for perception. That is a dirty 20. Well done, Iaz. Alright, I will start off with you, Qherial, seeing as you got a 12, which is enough to kind of get a look around. And you can tell this place does not seem like anywhere that you have travelled so far on this train, because it's a bit of a mess. And not in terms of, oh yes, there's junk lying about everywhere. It's a mess in terms of, oh, right there, it's like a nice grassy field, and you can kind of see a barn in the distance, and like, oh, that's not grassy field. That looks like the edge of a giant stone cliff, like with deep oranges and yellows. And why is that giant boulder there? And there seems to be a road going through this dusty, weird desert that's going on there that stops right as it meets another point of this green field. And it's all, these bits are just all intermingling around each other. And it kind of looks like two completely distinct environments have just been smushed together, and they don't quite fit properly. Iaz, you see that, and you also notice that, like, the only way to really call them is walls, and like other places that you've been to on this train have also been walls, but like that's when you're specifically inside, not when you're in two different environments that are definitely outside. Here, there seems to be kind of patches hung in mid-air that all seem to be on the same angle, and you can kind of see gaps in the world, and you look into them, and there seem to be gears and machinery that can just be seen through these sparking gaps. On the other hand, you have just met the first person that also seems to go through these doors.
Aha.
How do you two react?
I think Ias would just stare for a couple of seconds at Qherial, not saying anything, just a little bit shocked to see someone else who does not look like a denizen of this train.
Oh dear.
And then wave a little.
Gently, I think the noises are coming from you. I don't suppose you would mind quickly ducking into your settings and just turning off notifications and such?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Not a problem. I was wondering who they were coming from. Thank you for picking that up, Mock. But yeah, Qherial, you've got another person that seems to be staring at you.
Hello?
Hi. One of Ias's ears raises a little more than the other in question. He still doesn't quite get that this other person is real.
I'm sorry.
That's just a weird silent moment between these two.
Yeah, staring at each other.
Awkward.
I think that's a good point for us then to move on to our third character. So, Josiah, the only way I can put this is you've just woken up in a dark box that seems to feel a lot like a coffin other than the fact that it's moving. How do you feel?
Josiah, first thing he did, he sat up and he said, and that's why I feel like I will be a good fit for the position, what? And I think he probably bumps his head against the coffin.
Oh no. Care to explain why he thinks that he'd be a good fit for what position, though?
The position of teetotaler. That's what he came here for. His whole thing was that he was just applying for a job. He's applying for a job for the clerk of teetotaling. So, he's got all of his little papers and things, and he's ready to go. And this is not usually what he expects the job interview does. So.
Walking through a door and waking up in a dark box. Always, that
Yes,
sounds like my
exactly.
most stressful job interviews, really.
Wrong door.
Exactly. Exactly.
Do you yell out at all when you bash your head?
I guess. Ow! He rubs his head. He's a very quiet, sort of soft-spoken sort of person. So he doesn't usually get too excitable about things, which I'm hoping I can pull that off, because right now, like I said, I'm very nervous. So.
You're doing good. Don't worry. You
All
all
right.
are.
Okay. Mhm. But yeah, he just when he bonks his head on there, he's just like, oh, ow. And he just starts, like, feeling around, like, the whole thing with, like, the mime in the box thing. He's just kind of like, now, is it like it's just basically like coffin shaped, right?
It's not quite coffin shaped once you have a bit more of a feel around, because you know how coffins tend to do the widening out by the shoulders and narrow by the feet. This doesn't quite seem like that.
Right,
it's
right.
just a dark rectangular box.
Oh, okay. All right. A small, dark rectangular box. Oh dear. All right. Okay then. Well, let's see. This is the strangest job interview I think I've ever had. And then he knocks on the door. He like starts knocking on his. Hello. Anybody out there? Hello. Knock, knock, knock. Hello. I appear to be a little stuck.
And I think that's a fantastic transition. Going back to Iaz's dirty 20 from earlier. Iaz, while you are staring at this other person, kind of not really sure what to say, you can hear at like the very edge of your hearing just this whole knock, 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 hello? Hello, sort of coming from somewhere. And if you look around, you will see this gleaming silver floating box, kind of like not a distance away, but like it's probably around like 60 feet away. And you notice it's kind of hovering over a spot that's kind of desert, stopping for a minute, a little red light go beep beep, flashing at the top. And then it moves again, and now it's hovering over a bit that's meant to be the whole grassy field, and then red light, beep, beep, and it moves again, and it's just going backwards and forwards, and doesn't really seem to be doing anything else but, you know, being stuck there. What do you do?
That looks
Iaz
interesting.
squints his eyes at first. Sorry. Iaz squints his eyes at the box. And does Qherial also see it?
Not unless you point it out, because Qherial did not get a high enough perception check.
Alright, then Iaz, seeing that Qherial does not see the box, points at it. Look!
Oh, that doesn't look like it's supposed to happen. And she's already moving towards it.
Qherial follows Qherial. Sorry.
Does it do that like the sound of the dun dun dun?
Absolutely. That's how the background music is. Dum, 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 dum. That's how the background music is going as they carefully approach this box.
Extra drama, exactly. Oh my goodness.
Do you do anything when you come close to the box?
Is moving. Is extra cautious.
Yeah, so like nothing really happens as you are looking around there. It's kind of like what do you want to do? This box is just going backwards and forwards. Like as you're kind of getting closer, like you can probably hear more of the whole hello? Like Josiah, are you still yelling in there, or have you given up?
This isn't terribly comfortable. Can someone
Thank you for that amazing Foley work.
I'll get you out of there! Is it floating?
Yeah, so like this box is just floating, and kind of like every 5 seconds or so it shifts back across, like so like over to down to the desert, beep, and over down to the field, beep beep, sort of, and just going backwards forwards. And it doesn't, I will say, both Qherial and Iaz, you will recognize this as kind of like, wait, didn't you guys arrive in a box like that? You'd think it was a couple of carriages ago, but like you remember being dropped on the ground by something and maybe catching a glimpse of it as it flew off, and it kind of looked like one of this. Is there a person in there that's meant to, you know, be letting out, maybe?
I think that would be very nice, please.
So Qherial's gonna try to get on top of the box.
I'm
Open it that way. She's not thinking right now.
Gonna need you to make... Now, are you just kind of straight up pulling yourself up onto this? Or are you kind of trying to jump onto it?
She's gonna jump.
Okay, in that case, please make me an acrobatics roll. Because, like, this thing's moving, it's very kind of sleek and shiny. It's gonna be a bit hard to get up there as it moves.
Oh boy, this is my specialty.
Oh, joys. That's
Okay.
Alright, that's a 15. I would just like to say, it was a 6 originally, and now it's a 15.
Oh, dear.
Which is enough.
Oh.
Alright, you watch it for a couple of seconds. You kind of go like, ready now? No. Alright, now! And you do this wonderful little jump, grab onto it with your hands, do a little scrabble, and then you are up. It wasn't too hard. It was probably a little bit harder for some people. You got lucky there. But, yeah, you are now on top of the box. I will tell you, now that you're on top, you do actually see, like, this little plate right underneath that little flashy red light that you saw before that looks like maybe it could be an interface panel, but as you watch, there's this little copper plate that is screwed into the very top, and it's only small. And, what languages do you speak and read?
God, I don't know where to find that.
Oh wait, I've got a new character sheet right here. You only speak Common and Qherial. So this is a question I've not had to ask in any of my other games, but no.
I also speak Elvish and Primordial, but I don't know if that's going to be helpful.
Actually, everything's helpful because as you watch this copper plate that is definitely not mechanical like some of the other stuff, it's just a copper plate that seems to be enchanted somehow, because as you watch it, it shifts through a whole bunch of scripts. Like, you're watching and like, okay, yeah, those swirly bits, that's probably Elvish, and then you've got something that looks like a bunch of squares and you're not quite sure what that is, and then like, ooh, that looks like, you know, the Latin alphabet, except no, that's definitely not Common. Oh, bunch of squiggles. That was Qherial. And as you watch, it eventually comes back into Common, and it says, "Please do not tamper. Thank you," with a little exclamation mark at the end, before shifting off into another language, and it seems to loop.
Huh.
Oh,
things are going wrong anyway, so tampering time.
I've just got this one character in my head that's now very sad and disappointed that their polite request didn't work.
They tried to be polite. Look what happened.
He watches as Qherial does all this and asks her, "What's up there? Do you see anything in particular?"
There's a message saying not to tamper, but that's not very helpful, so I think we can just ignore it.
Be careful. We don't know what this thing is, although I clearly can hear a person in there.
Yeah, I think by this point, Josiah, you can probably hear people, like other people talking around you, and that someone is now on top of this, because the box would have definitely dipped with their weight.
Wait a minute. Yeah. And he was like, oh, wait. Please be careful. I'm unbreakable.
Okay.
Yeah, that was definitely someone talking. Maybe we should try to open this thing up. Doesn't look like it will do it on its own.
Wait, I think I have...
Any ideas?
Shoot, I need to... Okay, I'm gonna lean over the edge of the box, and I'm gonna cast Knock.
Sure thing. When you're casting Knock, are you just kind of like casting it on the side of the box and seeing what happens?
Yeah, because she's not very tall, she doesn't make it all the way around.
Okay, that's an utter delight. Would you like to describe to me what knock does? I do have it up here, but for the sake of our listeners.
Choose an object that you can see within range. The object can be a door, box, chest, a set of manacles, a padlock, or another object that contains a mundane or magical means that prevents access. A target that is held shut by a mundane lock or that is stuck or barred becomes unlocked, unstuck, or unbarred. If the object has multiple locks, only one of them is unlocked. If you choose a target that is held shut with arcane lock, that spell is suppressed for 10 minutes, during which time the target can be opened and shut normally.
And I will also note, this does make a very loud knock as you cast it. Good news is, this is technically a mundane lock, because, like, what the fuck is mechanical, but it's not arcane. So you knock on the side, and that knock just reverberates around this entire carriage, and you can actually feel things shake slightly and shift a bit, and yeah, no, I'm not going to make you roll with this one, because I don't like having to do spellcasting rolls. I'm just going to tell you the spell works.
Okay.
Don't worry. But yeah, Iaz, you actually notice, again, I'm still going off that 20 for your perception earlier, that all those like little cracks and stuff that you saw in things before, you're fairly sure they shift and get a little bit bigger when this knock goes out. Good news is, though, it does work. It unlocks the thing. And, Josiah, you are dumped on the dirt.
Hello.
Oh, boom. Oh!
I'd like to point out this... Sorry, yes, talk, please.
Uh-oh. You okay? Hello?
Are you okay?
Are we talking to me?
You.
Okay.
Can I actually get a real quick dex saving throw from Qherial?
Oh my.
Because the thing is, when this box opened, well, before he'd just been stuck going back and forth, now this thing opens. And as soon as it does, that little red light stops flashing red and instead goes green, and the box starts rising. With that 9, you do not manage to gracefully jump off before this thing flies. In fact, it gets a little bit too high, and then you just go, oh wait, no, I was leaning to the side. Slip, tumble, thump. And you are also dumped in the dirt.
Did they land on poor Josiah?
Can I get a dexterity save from Josiah quick to see if he manages to dodge?
Hang on a second. Alright, so it's D. Are we using D20, is that correct?
Yeah. And actually, Iaz, I'll get a quick save from you as well, because you are nearby and might also be landed on.
Okay. Alright, let me check.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Okay. And I've got I think I have a +3 to dexterity. Is that correct?
It's going to be your dexterity saving throw. You don't have a proficiency in dexterity saving throw, which means you only actually have a +2 because that's your dexterity modifier.
Okay, all right. Okay, sounds good. Okay, so let me do that. All right.
And Ali, you have a +5. What the fuck?
Oh wow.
That's
yeah.
Iaz is on a roll with these 20s. With that was a nat 20 +5, 25. You see, you just see this bird slipping off this thing, and you just have this wonderful moment where your leg just extends out the side, like, and you duck to the side as thwomp with that 4. Josiah does not get out of the way. And you have just had a bird land on top of you.
A bird on bird.
Bird on bird violence.
Bird on bird.
Poor Josiah, he's all like.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
That's
Qherial's gonna roll off of him.
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good.
Iaz tries to help up both of them. He's very sorry to see both of them fall in the dirt. Also, his ears are pretty sensible, and they're very much hurting from that knock.
Oof.
Oh,
It was
boy.
very close to him. He has big ears.
I could just imagine poor Josiah when he was in the box, that when they did that knock, he just was like.
I'm the player, I'm sorry. I don't think Qherial noticed the consequences.
He wouldn't say anything.
Aw.
He just reaches out for both of their hands and helps them up.
Oh, okay. And Josiah does this little thing. He just kind of like just dust himself off, and tries to straighten his feathers out. He's a very bit of a fussy little fellow, so he just getting himself straightened out, and he's just like, and then he just takes a sigh, and he just looks at two of them, and he's all like, are you here for the job interview too?
No, aren't you? Oh no.
You're here for the first time, aren't you?
Yes, I'm afraid I am.
There's been You're not at your job interview. You're somewhere else.
But
I think you'll be late.
I'm sorry.
Oh my gosh. Okay, let me get my head straight. A second. Hang on a second. I'm sorry, guys. I am so nervous.
It's okay.
Oh, yeah. Well, see, I figured, it would probably be best if I just play somebody who's complete nervous wreck, because I do. The first time I was going to play this, I was going to be a complete nervous wreck. So.
It's okay.
Relatable character.
You three are all a delight so far. I am having a lot of fun listening to you all. Please keep talking. This is great.
Thank you. Okay, all right. So, let's see, who was it that was talking to him again?
Both of them, I think.
Oh, both of them. Okay, all right. Okay. So he just kind of like, and he has like this little habit of like pressing his finger. You know how people like steeple their fingers together?
Aww.
He's got his hands pressed together in this sort of in a certain way. And he sort of turns his head to the side, and he's all like, "What do you mean this isn't for the job interview?" I specifically, and he starts fiddling around in his little messenger pouch thing. He's got like a little messenger pouch thing where he's keeping all of his papers and stuff. And he's all like, he's like, wait, I've got. I don't understand. First of all, can you explain? Because I'm not sure what I'm doing here.
Qherial's nervously fidgeting as well. She's
Everybody's nervous.
Neither do I. As far as I can tell, we're in a weird place, and
I can kind of see that. Oh, and he started looking around, and he started sort of noticing now, where everything is and all that. He's just, and he's all like,
Did you want to give me a perception check to see if you managed to spot anything else?
Okay, all right, sure. Let's see. So D20. Do I have a modifier for that?
I'm sorry,
Yeah, everything okay with your connection, Bluejay?
I don't know, it usually doesn't do this. It should be okay. I don't know, though.
Well, at the moment, we're just having Josiah roll a perception check, which you have a +1 to, in case you need that reminder.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay, all right, thank you.
It's no problem. That's
Right.
a 4. Yeah, no, you see nothing. No. You get the same impression of.
I can't see.
Did you lose your glasses or something when you fell?
Yes. Yes, he's like, okay. There's a little pair of it's this little pair of glasses. Does anybody see? And he starts looking around him. He's very distressed bird. He's all like, please don't let them have broken. Oh dear. And he starts like he's like, fumbling around trying to find it.
Oh no.
Because he needs to roll to find his glasses.
I'm gonna roll to find his glasses.
Oh yes, please.
Okay. Please.
Do you want to join Iaz?
Iaz sees how obviously nervous and distressed this bird is. So he carefully, with hesitation, but puts his hand on their shoulder to give a gentle pat to, how do you say that in English? Oh my gosh. To make them feel less nervous.
Like reassuring?
Reassuring.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Is this perception
Just
or
get like
as I'm looking for?
Both Qherial and Josiah, I will need you to make investigation checks as you are frantically scrabbling about on the ground looking for these glasses. Josiah, you are at disadvantage, so you roll twice and then take the lower number.
Oh no!
Okay, all right.
That's an 8 from Qherial.
Can't seem to find it. Sorry.
Okay, D20 plus, what was it, 1? Is that correct?
Yours is investigation. You actually have a +3. So that's not too bad.
Oh, plus 3. Really?
Yeah. Because the thing is, because like perception is based off wisdom and then investigation is based off intelligence. Okay, so that was a 22. The thing is, I did say you're at disadvantage because you don't have your glasses, so please roll again.
Oh, no. Okay. This regular old D20.
Yeah. Same
okay,
D20
right.
plus 3. That's still the +3, so that's 16, which is thankfully enough to find your glasses. You are still scrabbling around in the dirt for a bit, and Qherial, you don't have much luck. However, Josiah, you are probably used to, accidentally losing your glasses at some point.
Yes.
This happens a lot. So
This happens so many times.
you find them and they are thankfully unharmed, and this is probably due to that, yes, the little bit of luck granted by that reassuring pat on the shoulder that Iaz gave you.
Okay. All right. Yes. Yes. He appreciates that. Although right now he's a little bit flustered, so he doesn't actually acknowledge it, but he does appreciate it. He kind of like picks up his glasses and he goes, and he just little polish them, and then he puts them back on his nose, and he's all like, all right. And he just sort of stands there and presses his hands together again. And he's all like, can someone please explain to me what's going on? Because I have no idea. I was supposed to be here for an interview, and he just starts. He's a man.
Well,
We just know that things are weird.
Sorry, I missed that. I had a coughing fit. So maybe please rewind about 5 seconds.
Do we know that we're on a train, or do we just know that we go from one weird place to another?
Oh, can I get both of you? I'm going to actually just quickly roll a D2 for both of you to know if either of you. So, Iaz, you're on a train, and Yeah, Qherial, you do not. Qherial, you've just been through a bunch of weird places. Sometimes it's outside, sometimes it's inside. You have come in. You've met a weird talking animal at some point, and it wasn't a toon, so it's not like a toon talking animal. It was real kind talking animal. You think it was strange. You got out of there pretty quickly. You have no idea where the heck you are. Iaz, however, you actually have been lucky enough to go through a few carriages with a bunch of denizens in them, so you've had the chance to talk to them, and one of them let through that one of them let out that you're on a train, and you've kind of had a bit of a listen, and you can, like, if you're placing your ears to the ground again with your amazing hearing, thanks to your giant ears, you can kind of hear the rumbling and clack 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 of a train going over tracks, so you know that you're on a train.
Iaz claps his hands and says, "Well, we're on one weird train, if that makes sense."
It's a train?
Yep.
How does this fit on a train?
Don't you hear the chugging?
Yes. Josiah raises his hand like, I would like to know how that is too, please. He with him, he's very not used to like conversating with people, because his whole thing is, he's kind of a background character, so he's not used to people actually like coming up to him and talking to him and making conversation. So, he's a little bad at this.
Welcome to being a protagonist.
Yes, exactly.
Oh.
I mean, it's a very it has to be a very large train.
I would like to remind you that, like, for all intents and purposes, all three of you look like you are outside. It's a really weird outside, but like you're looking around and like, that's just the horizon. There's no walls. You're definitely not inside a train. However, again, Iaz, you have that like little bit of extra notice, thanks to you spotted earlier, that you can kind of see like gaps and what might be a wall, and this place isn't maybe as outside as as it looks like.
Weird.
Yes.
So what
I've
I know.
been here for a while. Yes. You too?
So what I know is that I went through a door, and then I was in a weird place, and I had to like open a door with puzzles, and then I was in another weird place, and it just kind of went for a little bit. The last place I was in was like entirely made of cheese. It was really weird.
Perfect.
I don't know where we are now. I don't see a door anywhere.
Excuse, did you say cheese? You said cheese.
Cheese.
Actual, honest to goodness, crackers and cheddar type of cheese, right? He's just so confused.
Entirely cheese.
Cheese carriage.
I'm going to state it right now. The cheese carriage is now canon. It is on the train. Thank you for that. That's amazing.
Yeah.
What else? I mean, we have to have a cheese carriage, right?
We have to have a cheese carriage. There's a very ridiculous number of carriages here, so thank you for that. But yeah, continue.
Okay, yes.
Well, yes, as far as I know, there's always a problem in each new carriage we gotta solve to move on. And I don't know for how long this will go on. I'm tired already. So let's just get to it.
And this is the point where all three of you, kind of as you're standing there, you don't know what to do, you just want to move on getting here, and then you just hear this me, and there's a fucking split second of a frame where a road runner has just come sprinting down past this desert that you're all standing on, and freeze frame, and it pops up with the whole like road runner, and I've now just had a complete blank on all this stupid, like ridiculous pseudo Latin names that always pops up under this. But just
Fastius and Atheus or something like that.
Yeah, pretty much. And then as you watch the freeze. Delicious Fast, I think I remember that one, yeah. But yeah, as you watch, as this Roadrunner is passing through this, running past this, all the dust and dirt that you guys are on, in this little desert section, the freeze frame stops, the Roadrunner continues sprinting, and it gets to a point where there is an intersection between the desert and the fields, and you kind of can just see for this absolute split second that like something goes glitch, and like you can hear kind of the crunching of gears for a second, and then that's not a road runner now, that's a pigeon wearing like a little flying cap and goggles and carrying a messenger bag, and as it's flying over the fields it kind of loops up into the air, and that's definitely a pigeon. And I would like to point out again, the fields and the desert are all very much intermingled. It's not just, yes, one is here, the other one is there. It's, have you guys ever seen like marble cake, where you've got all the different flavors half swirled into each other? That's what this place looks like.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, Josiah watches the Roadrunner turn from a Roadrunner into a pigeon, and he's got like this very calm expression on his face, and then he's like, "Well, that's it. I've gone completely mad. All right, yes, all right then. I've completely lost my mind, and I'm yes." That's he just sits down and puts his head in his hands because he doesn't know what's going on.
As this is going on in the background while you have your mental breakdown, again the pigeon swoops from fields into desert, changes back into a road runner, kind of runs around, meep meep, swooshes back again, and again it just keeps changing from pigeon to road runner as it races about the entirety of this carriage.
So is the pigeon like running really fast when they're a pigeon?
No, the pigeon's flying. Whenever the roadrunner passes into the fields, it kind of turns into the pigeon's still flying along. I will note that whenever the pigeon kind of is in like high up in midair when it's about the crossover, the crunching of gears is kind of louder as it makes that transition. But then the roadrunner is on the ground again.
Okay.
This carriage is broken, my friends.
Oh dear.
Qherial does the Will Smith gesture at the scene, and she's like, "What the heck is this?"
Josiah. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Sorry.
Yes, okay.
Says, you think you're going crazy already? You've only been here for 5 minutes. Also, language.
Josiah just kind of looks up and he's like, "Oh, that's lovely. So lovely. Oh,
bad.
And I'm sorry. I'm having a difficult time trying to get his accent down right. So if it changes and switches from here to whatever, please excuse me, because I'm still trying to get like a little sound for his voice. I just know it's soft and nervous. That's all I've got so far.
I have no idea what it's supposed to sound like.
Mm-hmm.
Voices are hard. It's fine.
All right. Okay, so basically we are in a broken carriage. Is that correct?
That's what it looks like.
It sure looks broken.
Okay.
Jinx.
Broken like Josiah's will at this moment. Okay.
Oh no!
You just can't. This train broke and yeet.
God.
Oh my god. Okay. All right.
As the DM that knows background lore, oh no, that's horrifying. Gods, please don't.
I'm gonna try to approach the high-speed bird as a high-speed bird myself.
Alrighty.
Bird-to-bird conversation.
All right.
Yeah, are you gonna go flying or running? Or both?
Well, she's much faster at flying, so I think she's gonna try that.
Alright. Now I will say this flying is DM approved, so this is gonna be fun.
Oh.
How do you go cornering this speedy bird? No matter which form it's in, it's a speedy bird. Are you kind of like waiting for where they seem to be looping? Are you just gonna go chasing after them next time they're around? What do you do?
So there is a loop?
Well, they're not quite looping, but you can kind of like, as you watch them running about, you can kind of see like, all right, taking that corner there, possibly coming in this direction. It doesn't really seem to be paying any attention to you three so far. It doesn't see you as dangers yet, so it's okay to actually come close to you guys.
Well, Qherial definitely has not noticed that there's like a pattern, so she's just gonna try to go after it.
Fair enough. In that case,
She just all like bird.
in that case, I'm actually going to need to make you do an athletics check, because I'm aware that you do have quite a speedy flight speed. But at the same time, like this is you're doing the essential equivalent of running to keep up. So I've got to see how this works.
Yeah. Lalu, please give me a good roll for once.
That's an 8, so no, she will not.
That bird's just like beep, beep, ding, you know, he's gone.
That was some good sound effects.
Why is this bird so fast?
Yeah, that's basically it. You try and have a go. You're fast. You know you're fast. You're not that fast. Gods, this thing must be breaking the speed of sound as it goes.
Oh goodness. Okay. All right. So let's see. So we got one trying to run after the bird. We have my poor fella having a mild breakdown. And then we have I'm sorry, I'm trying to get everybody's names right. Let's see.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, got yes. And who was the other one again?
Yes.
Probably. You know what? If that's the case, we probably ought to introduce ourselves.
Yeah, you haven't done that yet.
Stranger number 1, stranger number 2.
Yes, that one going after the bird. This one over here. This one laying on his face on the ground or something. I know players are little being wily coyotes. Yeah, pretty much.
All right, who wants to start this round of introductions?
This is like the worst, like, you know, like little small talk social, you know, little soiree type of thing, you know, where everybody's just sort of standing around awkwardly with their little cup.
Perfect.
Like,
Ali, what were you about to say?
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Yes, Yes isn't doing anything, so he'll probably talk to the poor fella. I'm sorry, I didn't get the name as well. What is it?
Okay. He's just Josiah at this point. You know, he's finally sort of gathered himself together. You know, a little mild breakdown every now and then. It's good for you, you know. But he looks up and he says, right then. And he stands back up and brushes himself off again, does a little dusting. And he says, I am Jaywood Featherton, Josiah. The J stands for Josiah, and you are?
Name's, yes. It's yes.
Right.
Josiah, huh? You
Yes.
remind me.
Yes.
Yes. With a Z at the end.
Yes. Okay. And at this point, he's like, oh yes, and then he pulls out a little thing, a little pencil and a little piece of paper, and he writes that down. Yes. All right. And he says it to himself. He says, yes. Yes. Okay. All right. Okay. All right.
So, at this point, Qherial's stopped and she like drags herself into the frame, exhausted. She's not actually that exhausted, but you gotta play to the gag.
Yeah. Rule of funny.
Yeah.
Says, "Hi, I'm Qherial Flag, male bird at your service."
Oh, I have only just realized we have two completely separate, people who deliver mail, postal service workers on the train at once. I need to fucking conspire to get the two of you into a game at once.
Pigeon Carriage Part 3?
Possibly.
Goodness.
I might just make a mail carriage just to confuse the heck out of you.
Yeah.
And Ias is the only non-bird here.
I'm so sorry, Iaz. You're just a bunny in the land of birds.
All right, so we got a male bird. We got Iaz, who's the bunny, Qherial, who is the male bird, and my little fella here. Okay, all right, I got it. Okay, all right.
Ias looks at Qherial and says, well, you know what they say about chasing two birds at once.
I
don't know what they say. What did they say?
Josiah like turns his head and looks at this and is like, no, I'm afraid I don't know what they say. What do they say? 747 right over the head. Vroom.
I'm actually, Ali, I'm actually going to be giving you a point of inspiration for that. Because that was great.
Oh my gosh.
Which means that at any point you have basically one natural 20 that you can use at any point in time. You can use it in this game, or you can save it for future games if you want, but you have a point of inspiration.
This is even funnier because
Thank you.
Get it.
All right.
Doesn't matter.
So you guys have been standing around for a while. That road pigeon runner has been kind of going a little bit nuts in the background. It's having a good time. Every so often it kind of runs by you with a meep beep or a on its horn, because when it's a pigeon it has a little bugle, because fuck that pigeon, god.
That pigeon in particular.
I can't believe I inflicted this carriage on myself once again. I was about to say, at least you guys don't have a mailbox, and then I remembered, wait, no, you just haven't discovered the mailbox yet. Because you guys haven't gone very far yet into this rather large environment.
We're just getting...
You go.
Yeah, we're just getting through the awkward introductions and hi, how are you? Hi.
It's already been an hour.
Yeah. I do apologize.
Nice party.
I do apologize if I am gonna push you guys along a little bit. I do love all the little interactions and introductions you do, but also I have to kind of keep pausing every couple of seconds to have a coughing fit in the background while you're talking, because this cold has been kicking my butt for the past fucking week, and I hate it. But I'm having.
Get well soon.
Thank you. I plan on just sleeping through tomorrow if I can. But
Good luck.
We appreciate it.
Thank you. But yes, you've done your awkward introductions and standing around. This bird's still going absolutely nuts. There are a number of like cliffs and boulders for you guys to enact strange plans if you want. There's this weird kind of misshapen red barn over there in the fields that might be useful. You guys can have a look around and see if you can figure out what the heck is going on.
Maybe we can actually use the planes this time.
The who?
In the I would like to say in the last Pigeon Carriage, because it's based off like Dastardly and Muttley and their flying machines and all of that. There were a bunch of like beaten up strange planes in the barn that everyone completely proceeded to ignore, thus ignoring the whole point of the previous Pigeon Carriage's game.
So at this point, Kai is like, there's a perfectly nice barn over here. Barn.
It's barn intact.
What's worse is I would like to point out one of my players was my partner who was sitting right next to me and watching me facepalm the entire game. So pointedly, barn.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so all right. Josiah just like he just kind of looks at so now that we all and he claps his hands together. So now we all know each other, I guess. Oh, let's go explore that barn over there. That looks like a very interesting barn. We'll go over there and explore.
Thank you.
Is the barn intact, or is it like in pieces like the other stuff?
I don't know. Roll me an investigation check. All three of you.
Boy. Oh boy. Okay.
I say this was going to be a short game, and then I get distracted with yes, plot.
Oh yes. Wow.
All right, that is a 15 from Qherial. The two wait till the other two are finished rolling, and then I will say what you guys see. And that's a 10 from Eaz, so smack bang on average, and an 11 from. Do neither of you guys have any bonuses to your investigation? Because I know that for a fact.
I don't think we did. No, please loud.
Gently, I am staring at your character sheet right now, and I can tell you have a +3 to investigation.
I'm sorry. I am just like I said. It has been so long since I've played D&D, and I'm more used to like the actual like dice rolling and stuff.
Yes, that's okay. All right, so a +3 to you, and Eaz, you had a +1. So that's actually a 15, an 11, and a 14. That's how I can work with.
Okay, all right, good. We can work with that.
Yeah. All right. With that 11, Eaz, you have a look around and yep, this is a nice big red barn. It maybe looks a bit old and run down, but like it's fine. With that 14 and that 15, Josiah and Qherial, you kind of have a bit of a little better look, and Qherial, you in particular notice that this is a run-down barn, and you're fairly sure that one of the walls is missing where the desert has kind of intersected it, so maybe it's like half a barn and half cliff.
All right, half barn, half cliff. All right.
I missed the last bit. What did you say?
I said the barn is kind of like it's half barn and then half solid rock wall as it meets the bottom of a cliff.
Oh.
Okay.
Well. Okay. Josiah's been very, very quiet this whole time when they were going over there to the barn, and at this point, you can kind of see that he's got like this very deeply embarrassed look on his face. He's just been, very unusually quiet, and I think that what the bottom line of it is that he's just all like, probably mentally berating himself for acting like this. So he's just kind of like folded his arms, and he's just sort of following along because his whole thing, he's very much a follower, so he comes over there and he makes a little cough, and he's like, and he coughs, and he's like, I'm sorry, I'm not used to talking to people very much. I'm not very good at it.
It's fine, Iaz says. I'm actually glad that I met people around here that I can talk to. Didn't have a lot of that for a long time.
Probably talk enough for the both of us. Wahaha.
Oh, how long have both of y'all been on here?
Who knows?
Oh, that doesn't bode well.
On here, weeks maybe.
Yeah.
Or 1 week.
Yeah, probably closer to 1 week. You know that it's incredibly... Both of you have realized by now that it is incredibly, incredibly hard to keep track of time. Anything that you owned that was meant to, count hours, any clocks or timekeeping devices straight up don't work in this place. You haven't needed to sleep or eat or anything, but time-wise, yeah, it feels something between a couple of days to a week.
It could be any time at all. We just don't know.
Pretty much.
All right. Okay. Okay. So
well.
Yeah, Josiah just kind of nods, and he's like, "Oh, go ahead, yes."
Yes, points at the barn. Well, I guess it's the only significant building around here. Maybe there are people there, perhaps, that we can help and move on.
Barn time.
I'm a bit afraid of anybody I might encounter out here at this point, because this is a very strange place.
On the other hand, there might not be anyone in the barn, and it's just a nice, quiet place away from the pigeon.
Yes. That sounds delightful. Why don't we head towards the barn?
So, have you been walking to the barn for about half an hour now? Has it been?
At least, yeah.
All right. When you get to the barn, the good news is...
glad he has a hat.
Yeah, I don't want to get burnt from all the sun that's going up there. It's like a hot desert sun. Oh no, pleasant summer sun in the field. No, hot desert sun, sort of thing that's going on up there. But you get to the barn, and you notice that the doors are already open, or at least the door singular. I will say at this point, Iaz, you also notice that, wait, no, this is not an intact barn, it just looked like that from the other angle. That's a solid rock face right there, basically bisecting the barn perfectly. So the door that is left is open, and you guys can have a bit of a look around, and I will say that you notice a bunch of beaten up old planes. A bunch of them seem to kind of have been cut in half or smushed into this rock wall, and you're fairly sure that that's, half a plane sticking out of the rock. You know what happens when you just kind of get 3D objects glitching together and overlapping. It's like that's happened.
Oh dear Lord, we've fallen into a Bethesda.
Yeah, pretty much. Welcome. Todd Howard owns you. Wait, no.
Todd.
But yeah, you guys notice at the back of the barn, there's one of the door that you kind of can see from around out of all this mess of where the planes are. Yeah, that's a red door. Iaz and Qherial, you notice that looks just like the doors that you guys have been passing through so far. Do you run up to get a closer look?
Yes. Does not run up. He clenches his fist and raises his arm in an elbow. kind of as a warning sign, as a sign to keep be careful and stealthy. He doesn't know what's up with the planes.
Fair enough.
Qherial's ignoring all of that.
Josiah notices him doing that, and he just like carefully sidesteps a little bit because he's not sure what's going on right now.
Oh, it's so cute. I love all three of you. Qherial, you were dashing ahead, were you?
Yes. Yeah, please do.
Go check out that.
Cool.
Yes, looks mad.
Oh, poor yes. Qherial, you are the first to notice that this is not a complete door, because all the other doorways you've come in so far, it is a set of double doors with strange golden door handles that only unlock certainly. This is half of a set of double doors. The door handle seems to be missing. You're not sure that this door's gonna work if it's only, half a set of double doors like before.
Order another door.
Yeah, looks like we're gonna have to get another door.
What do you mean, get another door?
Mailbox can
I would like to point out this time, stop breaking the fourth wall. Your characters do not know about the mailbox.
I know. I'm saying that. Not my character. I don't have a voice for her.
It's okay. Just like bap you back into place with a rolled up newspaper. Get away from the fourth wall.
No, does not exist. It's not there. You do not see it.
All you know from a character perspective is that you've run up going, oh yes, this is the door, this door's definitely fucking broken, isn't it? Oh gods.
Alright. So let's see. Alright, so we're in the barn now. Are we just standing at the door looking at it? Or
you two were cautious. I don't think you're by the door.
Okay. Josiah is just going to very carefully reach out and touch the door, and he jerks it back if it's hot or something, because
no.
He's like
I mean, it's good to be cautious. It means I'm not going to inflict any horror rolls on you yet.
Not yet.
But no, the door isn't hot. The door just, you kind of get, oh gods, this is the point. How old are you guys? You guys remember this? Old TV screens, the ones that were made of glass and kind of curved and everything, and if you left the TV on for too long and then turned it off, there's that slight haze of static that gets left on the glass that you can kind of wipe away with your hand afterwards.
Yes.
Yeah, that's...
I know exactly what you're talking about. That's what it feels like.
That's what it feels like.
I don't want to touch that. I mean, Qherial has no qualms about touching it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's not painful. It's just you go.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Josiah just kind of looks at his fingers, and he just kind of rubs them thoughtfully for a minute, and he looks at the door again, and he's all like, "Oh, there's something very, very wrong around here. I don't like this at all." So.
Can I cast mending on the planes? I just want to see if it does anything.
Oh god, let me quickly double check how that give me 30 seconds, because doesn't mending have a size limit? Or oh god, let me check your character sheet. Single break or chair and alternate use actually broken well,
oh, that's a shame.
I mean it's as long as the break or tear is no larger than 1 foot in any dimension, you mention it. Okay. I would say, considering this is a cantrip, you can absolutely cast this on one of the nearby planes. It's not gonna repair the whole thing at once, obviously, because these planes are kind of pretty beaten up and battered. But you can run your feathers over one of these, like a tear in one of the fabric wings, and as you cast mending, the fabric does actually stitch itself back together. The plane's not whole, but you did manage to fix a bit of it.
Cool.
Okay. Josiah looks up and he's like, how on earth did you do that?
Magic?
That's a thing?
Oh, great, there's magic.
Oh, great, there's magic.
Says the cleric.
Yeah. Well, I'll just go ahead.
Where are you from? Is there no magic there?
I'm just a clerk. I haven't had any use for magic or that. Like I said, I have no idea why I'm here. I'm a clerk.
Okay, well, I've got some magic. That's a thing in this universe.
I honestly,
I don't know.
Yes?
I honestly don't know if there is magic where I come from. I know a guy that does magic tricks, but I'm not completely sure if they are real. He might be faking it, so I'm not entirely sure there. Either way, can you do the same fixing spell, I guess? Can you do the same fixing spell to everything on this carriage?
No, it's too big. I can't fix something this brick.
We've got time.
Well, I mean, I will say it is a cantrip, which means you can cast it as many times as you like.
But like,
yeah, there are limits to how much it can kind of fix. You still there?
Oh, yes, I'm here.
Yeah. All right. So
the door was like, if it had a crack in it, I could fix that, but I can't fix the doors when there's one missing.
Well,
maybe we should find the other part of the door.
Let's do that.
Can I roll perception or something to look around
absolutely
more thoroughly in this barn?
Yeah, roll me perception, and like I can tell you kind of what you can see from around you.
All right. Wow.
That was a dirty 20. That +5 to your perception is coming very in handy.
Get those good rolls.
All right. As you look around and you notice that nothing in this barn seems like it's actually missing as such. It's just there's a difference between missing and just not there. Because missing implies that it's somewhere else, and not there just implies that it's not really anywhere, probably. So you have a look around and you see this barn, and you notice that half of it does just seem to be this ramshackle mess of half-broken planes stuffed into this barn, and then you have a look at the other side, and you just have this, like, rough stone wall that's just there that has kind of come smushing through, not even smushing through the barn, it's just replaced where half the barn was, and there are bits and pieces where, like, the barn has maybe clipped into the cliff face, but it's again, there is a difference between missing, as in it could be something else, and replaced by a cliff. On the other hand, though, with that 20, I will say that as you're looking around, you notice outside the barn doors, a little way off, there does seem to be another thing that isn't just fields or desert or weird cracks in walls. You notice a mailbox.
Mailbox! I was gonna go investigate anyway, so I'm gonna go over there.
Well, I will note that so far it is only Iaz that has noticed the mailbox so far, so like he would need to point it out to you guys first. If he wants to. He could keep it secret.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, I think he will take a look around, notice all those things, and then say, "Hey, is that a mailbox?" And point at it.
It does indeed appear to be a mailbox, just sitting there out in the desert.
Wasn't there
familiar?
Is there a name there? An address? Yes, comes over to the mailbox. To look at it.
There is no name painted on the side. There's only that little red flappy flag thing, which exists everywhere in America for some fucking reason. Why?
I don't have one. We've got this like big rectangle with the entire street's mailboxes all in one. I wish I had one of those flag mailboxes.
I guess they're kind of like from a time when, you know, mail would be picked up from the mailbox as well, I guess? I don't know. Anyway, moving on with the game. No, there's no name or anything painted on the side. There is just the mailbox sitting there with its flag down.
Yeah, we all just kind of like look at each other like, okay.
It says, wasn't there a pigeon?
The pigeon's still going about. It's still kind of like the road pigeon runner is still going around, having a good time. Every so often, like stopping to peck at things, occasionally coming up to beep at you guys, and then moving on again. The pigeon's having a good time.
Pigeon's just, you know, doing its pigeon thing.
Yeah.
Not doing his job.
This is his job.
This is his exclusive pigeon job.
Can I look around the mailbox?
Yeah, sure thing. I'm not even going to make you roll for it, but yeah, you do notice at the bottom of the mailbox is a small little open cardboard box around the size of an A4 sheet of paper, and a bit taller, and inside are a couple of sheets of paper that have mail order form stamped at the top.
Qherial is delighted by this sight. She's gonna look at the stack.
Yeah, it's just a stack of papers. There's only about like 10 there. It looks like someone's been going through this stack a fair bit and maybe it hasn't been topped up. But yeah, it's a stack of papers with, this is the point where I completely forget the details I gave in the Pigeon Carriage, so I'm not going to say anything. It's because I don't want to contradict past me. But there is an address stamped at the top, along with mail order form, and then a just little little box with a description in it that you suppose can be written in.
This carriage is messed up anyway, so like any continuity mistakes.
Exactly. Yeah, I think it was MCA mail order form. That was it. The brand was MCA.
All right. So let's see. Where? No, go ahead.
Well, if this pigeon runner, whatever that is not busy doing his job as a male pigeon or something, who knows it already? Maybe we should give him a job. Is that what is being encouraged?
He's a freeloading pigeon. He needs to get a job.
The pigeon must be subject to capitalism.
Can I read the first order form and see what it says?
Yeah, it basically just says what's said at the top, and it's the whole MCA mail order form, and there is an address, and there is just an empty box with items requested at the top. And obviously, like, it's like lined, so you can say, like, okay, yep, obviously text is meant to go there. But otherwise, that's it. It's just a blank form where you can write in whatever items you require. Again, I will note there's only 15 of these sheets of paper.
Instead of the wild amount from before.
Yeah, I don't know how many they actually wound up using. I think if I'd only given them one, they still would have caused chaos.
Box. I'm gonna try to order a door.
The second half of the door. Jinx.
I know full well this is not gonna work, but Qherial's gonna try ordering a door.
Tell me what exactly you write on there. What exact wording?
Left door to train exit.
Fair enough. All right. I'm guessing you fold that up, you pop it in the mailbox, and lift up the flap. Actually no, you wouldn't lift up the flap. You just pop it in the mailbox, and then you hear the whole. Wait a couple of seconds. And the red mailbox flap flicks up. There is something in the mailbox.
I'm gonna
Gravity Falls reference.
You got mail. You've got mail, haven't you?
Do you pull it out?
Yeah.
I don't know how cautious you are being about this mailbox. Like, are you using a stick, or are you just, getting your mail?
It's just
I am using my wing hand. I'm not being cautious at all.
Alrighty. As you open up the mailbox, nothing really happens. You can kind of just see an object that looks a little bit scrunched up in there. So you reach your arm in, your hand kind of disappears into the mailbox, and as you pull it out, like viewers watching this on camera, just see this door kind of and unfold out of the mailbox as you pull it out. And in your hand, you are holding the left door of a train carriage. It's not... The downside is, it is not that beautiful red arching door that you are so used to on this train now. It is just kind of looks like, oh yeah, this probably came from like a steam train carriage, and it's the left door, and you're holding the handle. You've kind of like, there's the glass window on it, and this is entirely useless.
I mean, we can probably use it for something.
Yeah, true. But yeah, you ordered the left door of like a train exit. You got a left door for your train exit.
I suppose it's like a genie thing. You have to specify all the details.
Pretty much.
Probably can't just get this door that we need. We might be able to get a good replica though.
I will tell you, like, this is a good time to be very creative here. And while, again, this is kind of based off the Pigeon Carriage, do keep in mind, like, the sort of hijinks that Wile E. Coyote gets up to, including one very specific and famous hijink that I'm not gonna mention exactly, because there is no right answer here. You guys can get up to a whole lot of stuff, and I will grant you the door when I feel that you have earned it. So, go nuts.
You've got to earn it. All right.
Coyote always fails, though. Why do we want to do the same thing he would do?
Because you're not Wile E. Coyote?
Dang, I never...
Yeah, we're not Wile E. Coyote. We're much smarter than what they are.
Dang, I never watched those cartoons.
Me neither. I just vaguely know.
Well, then more reason for us to be creative. What are there other sheets of paper that are like a list of
no, it's just an empty order form. So you can, like, anything that you think that Emka could provide, up to and including the left door for a train exit, you can take a wild guess. Have a go.
Ask for red paint.
Sure thing. All right. As you do, yeah, you write the whole thing. It just says red paint. As you pop it in, and again this whole, and you pull out a tin of red paint.
Do you think this will work?
You are Toons.
Qherial's staring blankly at you.
Do any of you guys have painting brushes?
We can get one.
Yes.
Maybe
we should order multiple things at once, just not to waste paper.
Mm-hmm.
Can we do that?
Yeah, there's enough, like, when I say, like, this is a big rectangle, it's not like a single line, it's kind of like a nice big chunk that takes up half the sheet of paper. So you could write a bunch of things in there, you reckon?
Any ideas? Guys? Gals?
All right, let's see.
Gals.
Okay, so we got a carriage door. We've got a bucket of red paint. So we're trying to figure out how to make the other door for the barn, right?
Pretty much.
All right. Okay. Here, let Josiah try it. Let him try something.
Everyone's got to have a turn at ordering weird things from the strange mailbox.
Yeah, exactly. Well, to me, it seems like the practical thing would be to, I guess, like, just keep trying to see if we actually get the train door. So I'm gonna let Josiah take a shot at it, I guess. Let's see here. And what do I roll for that?
That one, it's, you have to tell me what are you actually, what are you writing down on the order?
Oh, okay, all right.
You don't have to roll anything, you just need to tell me exactly what you're ordering.
Okay, I think I will get him to order, well, hinges. I mean, we need hinges, right? Obviously, yeah, so it'll, hinges.
Do you order order anything other than hinges, or is hinges just the only word you put on this piece of paper?
Hinges is the only word.
I'm gonna tell him order paintbrushes too. Order paintbrushes.
Okay, all right, okay. Hinges. Okay, all right. So the other ones are all like, okay, hinges are good. We kind of really need a paintbrush. Okay, all right. Okay, so Josiah's very busy. And he goes and he writes down hinges. He's very, very being very careful about it. Hinges, paintbrush. What else do we need?
Gold trim. We need gold trim.
Yes.
Like,
okay, all right. So he writes down gold trim.
Shape. Like right now, it's the wrong shape.
What was that again? I'm sorry.
A chainsaw.
A chainsaw.
All
right. He writes that down too.
No, you are correct. The train door you've got is currently the wrong shape. It's rectangular rather than like the half of an arch like the other door was.
And we need 2 handles
Make sure the
handles.
Make sure the chainsaw has fuel in it.
Okay, all right. Well, and you can see actually while Josiah is doing this, while he's writing this down, you can see he's actually relaxing just a tiny bit because it's like, okay, filling out forms. I know this. I can do this.
Oh, yes.
I can do forms. I know forms.
Hinges, paint brushes. We've got a fucking chainsaw with fuel.
Yes, with fuel.
Can Iaz ask to write one more thing in the list?
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Help.
All right. So all right. Hinges, paintbrush, chainsaw, gold trim, help. Are there any other things you want to add to that list?
Handles.
Oh yeah, door handles.
All right. Yep. And Josiah scribbles that down, and then he's like, he just goes 1, 2. He automatically starts like counting them because he's like, that's his thing. His background before he came here, he was a bean counter, so he just counts.
All right.
All right. So he counts, and he gets that amount, and he's like, all right. So, 1, 2, 3, chainsaw with fuel, cold trim, door handles, and help. And then he like underlines help a few times. This is very important.
I sadly can't underline it, but I can make it bold and italic.
All right. So he's like, oh, all right then. Is that it? Is there anything else we need to do?
I think we're all done here.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
We've got something we've got some more order forms.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. All right. And then he goes, I guess, like, does he go ahead and put it in there, or?
Yeah, unless anyone wants to stop him.
I know. All right. And so he counts it again, and he looks up and he's like, and you're absolutely sure there's nothing else we need on the list? We've got everything?
I'm not sure at all, actually, but we can send it. It's fine. Just send it.
I know.
Let's see.
All right.
Okay.
Again, there's that
so
whole.
He folds it up, puts it in. Very, very carefully. He's almost like doing it at arm's length because he doesn't know if this thing's going to like jump up and bite him or what. He's just.
All right. How the peck do you do underlining in Discord? Please tell me.
It's 2 underscores on either side.
That's fair enough. Thank you. I can't be.
There we go.
Anyway, it's not like other people that are listening go to see it in. This is mostly just for our own entertainment. All right. So once again, you pop the order form in the mailbox. There's the chunk as it gets sent away, and the chunk as your order arrives. And again, the little red flag flips up, and you open it up. First thing, you reach in, you pull out, and oh yeah, this is like a pair of hinges that look like they belong on some sort of door. Reach it again, yes, like a nice big thick paintbrush. Reach it again, and you pull a chainsaw, and that definitely didn't fit in the mailbox. Can I ask who is in possession of the chainsaw?
We never established who is opening the mailbox.
Yeah. Who pulls out the chainsaw or who grabs it off whoever pulled it out?
Does it do it automatically or something? Like it just spits it out like a soda can or something?
It doesn't spit it out. It's, again, that wonderful toony thing of reaching into a small space and then, like, because it's animation, you can pull out this giant thing from that small space.
All right. Okay. All right.
So, I'm guessing Iaz is gonna take the chainsaw.
Hell yes. All right, Iaz has a chainsaw.
All right.
If you
he lays it down on the ground for a while.
Fair enough. I was going to say, if you give it a rev, it will start up. Reach in again, and you've got some fancy, like, it looks like kind of gold foil that you could probably place on top of something. You reach in again. Yep, door handles, always nice. And the final time you reach your hand in, you kind of pull, and this thing's really big. It's kind of like a massive sheet of paper, and you pull it out, and boom, it comes out entirely, and you're carrying this map, absolutely, like the size of a dining table sort of size sheet of, like, white card, and then on it, painted in big red capital letters, underlined, is the word help. And we just get this moment of you kind of holding this card up and staring into the camera with this help in front of you before we change scenes.
and in the silence, Josiah just is like looking at it, and he said, "Oh, they underlined it too, didn't they?"
That's cheating. Well, what did I expect?
Maybe
Perfect.
maybe the pigeon will notice this and stop.
Do we start working on the door?
Yeah, I guess that's what we're gonna do, huh? All right. Let's see. So everybody just kind of like goes whole hog on it, just grabs whatever. Or I know we got one with the chainsaw already. So let's see.
She didn't get the chainsaw.
Yeah, Josiah picks up the door handles and hinges because he just does.
All right. This is the point where I'm actually going to get everyone to make a skill roll of your choice, as long as you can justify it to me as to why that skill would relate to this. And I'm doing this because it doesn't have, just art as a skill or anything you can learn. If you can't choose, then just make me a dexterity roll. But otherwise, this is the point where you get imaginative if you want extra bonuses to this roll.
Oh, okay. All right. Let's see here.
Actually, Qherial's had an idea, and now she's going to act on it. She's going to grab the giant help sign and try to get the pigeon roadrunner's attention instead of helping with the door.
Ooh, okay.
That's actually a good idea.
Are you yelling, or are you just kind of waving the sign at it?
I'm gonna go, "Hey, meet me."
Rude. You don't know what you're saying in Roadrunner.
The person just looks totally insulted at this point.
I'm gonna say that let me roll perception real quick, because I want to see if this bird notices you.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I'm gonna start spinning it like I'm advertising for like a business outside.
Amazing. Well, good news. The bird got a nat 20 plus 6 on its perception check, so it sees everything. It's in fact been watching you this entire time. I think it's kind of stopped as a roadrunner and kind of stopped on the edge of the road and just watching you pull all these strange things out and just kind of going like, ah, yes, this is entertainment, as it watches you. As soon as you go around looking for it, it's off again. It doesn't really want to notice you until you are starting to wave the help sign. In which case, yeah, alright, it's a pigeon again now, and it's kind of stopping to look and everything, and you have its attention. Now you need to persuade it to come over.
Shoot. Oh no. You like mail? I also like mail.
Please roll me a persuasion check. I want to see this played out as dice, and then I want to see how you interpret the number that you roll.
You okay there?
1 sec. I'm good. Alright, that's a 14. With that, I would call a 14 a mixed success. So you can actually say something reasonably persuasive, but it's not very suave.
Yeah, I'm gonna say, you like mail? And she puts down the sign, and she has a pouch with like mail stuff in it that was supposed to be delivered but isn't. And she holds up a letter, and she's like, I also like mail. We have so much in common.
Alright, you know what? That actually works. And this bird, just due to the pure absurdity of it, that actually works. And this bird comes closer. It definitely stays without like outside grabbing range. If you tried to make a jump for it, it would be out of there. But it crosses over like desert field, and kind of switches back a couple of times and comes and stops next to you. And it stops as a pigeon and blows its little trumpet at you. Doesn't necessarily like you, but you've got its attention and it's nearby. Well done.
I'm gonna pull out a kazoo and do it back.
You just have a kazoo on you. I thought I heard a kazoo earlier, but I wasn't sure where it came from.
Oh, that's cute. That is cute.
That's the best. All right, yeah. You get a point of inspiration for actually having a kazoo there to do this little bit, I've got to say. All right. Yeah, the bird kind of like trumpets back at you again and kind of shows its side and like, oh yeah, it's got a mailbag. Look, it's a messenger too. Pulls out a letter and then pops it back into its bag.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's a messenger pigeon.
Yeah.
Hey!
I've got to ask, what are you other two doing while this strange pigeon communication is going on?
I think Iaz was about to try to work with the chainsaw, but he noticed the help sign waving bird. And then another bird came over. There's a lot of birds. But hey, it came over and it stopped. It worked. The thing he wrote down that he thought was useless actually worked. Okay. He's now just looking at this interaction.
All right, Josiah, what do you think of this strange interaction? And or are you trying to get your hands on that chainsaw?
Say that again, I'm sorry. You kind of...
Oh, yeah, sorry. Josiah, what do you think of this strange interaction? And or are you trying to get your hands on that chainsaw?
Say that again?
Are you trying to get your hands on the chainsaw, or what do you think of what's going on? Tell me how you feel.
Josiah is just standing there, and he's got the hinges in one hand, and he's got the handle in the other, and he's just looking so lost.
Oh, poor guy. All right, back to Qherial then. Like, what? How? Yeah, you've got this. You've got the bird's attention. What do you want to do? Do you want to talk to it? Do you want to give it a thing? What are you doing?
Either me or my character actually had a plan after this, so I'm just gonna ask the pigeon if they know what happened to the rest of the exit.
Sorry, I've just got to pause for a moment while I think of how this pigeon will answer, because this pigeon can most definitely not talk. I think what it's going to do is kind of look at you for a second, flapping there in the air, and then swoop around and then dives back onto a desert section. Again, there's that vague gear crunching sound coming from past the fourth wall, and changes into a roadrunner, and this roadrunner goes zoom, and then that roadrunner is then standing on the top of that cliff that's, bisecting the barn, and just goes beep beep from a distance before zwoosh back into a pigeon, and it's flying in front of you again.
Okay. So
missed some of that. It cut out.
Okay. Basically, it just went and pointed out that the cliff happened. It turning into like this weird. I will say. Actually, roll me insight real quick, and I can maybe tell you a little bit more.
Oh, I've got nothing added to that.
Always fun.
Ooh, spicy. I'm gonna use my inspiration right now.
Yeah. Probably a good point. Okay, that point of inspiration is nat 20 going here, which is better than that 6. So basically you kind of can tell that this pigeon ran around and like went to a roadrunner, stood on top of that cliff, beeped at you, then came all the way back and is a pigeon again. While it was kind of like obvious to the other two that, yeah, it's pointing out that the cliff happened, this weird environment thing happened, you can also kind of tell that it is trying to point out that, hey, it's not just this got smushed together, it's also that weird gear crunching, changing thing that happens when it goes across these two environments. It's trying to point, you can tell that, like, this bird is trying to point out things went wrong. It broke. It can't really understand what to do. It just knows that it is of two things at once at the moment.
Oh, poor bird.
Can I try something with my boy?
Yeah.
Okay. What now? Right quick. I was looking through his stuff here, and I see that he's got like a +3 for nature.
Mm-hmm.
Can you what is that again? Right quick. So far
nature,
as like...
nature would be. It's not animal handling, but animal handling is more kind of specifically interacting with animals. Nature is more kind of, you go out into the forest, you find a mushroom, check if it's edible or if it will kill you, sort of thing. Or like it's nature will more tell you about like maybe plant life, or I suppose like the nature of animals as opposed to interacting with animals.
Okay. All right. And I remember you said something about like whenever he touched the door that there was that weird sort of staticky feel from the TV.
Mm-hmm.
Is it possible, like, can he like maybe touch something in the environment, like part like the cliff wall or whatever, and do like that to just see, like, I'm trying to think of what I'm trying to do here. Like, get sort of a better idea of what the heck's going on, maybe?
Roll me investigation to see, like, what you would think of touching as you are doing this check, I think.
Okay.
Because I do have some certainties here, but I need to know if you would discover them or not.
Okay, all right. So, investigation. And I think I got a +3 for investigation. All right.
Yeah. I would also like to point out, two of you are Frank and Ailey, and Frank and Ailey does have, the little sub-race bonus that is always fun. Not saying you have to use it, because you're going pretty well here, frankly.
All right. Okay.
I forgot about that.
Okay. All right.
That's an 18 for the investigation check. That's pretty good. As you are kind of like feeling around, you touch the cliff face, and like, yeah, you do kind of get a little bit of static here. You are feeling, it's nowhere near as strong as the door, but you do feel something. You go around and you touch the ground in the middle of a patch of field and there's no static there. You go and touch the mailbox and there's no static there, as it's well and truly planted actually in the desert side of things. But you do notice that whenever you're touching something that kind of gets closer to one of the points where it swaps from one to the other, that static kind of builds up. Again, none of it's as strong as what you felt when you were touching the door, but it's just that slow, like, as soon as you get within about 2 feet of one of the edges, you can feel that static building up.
Like, when he touches it, you could actually see, like, his feathers probably do that Ghibli puff thing, like...
Yeah, with the amount that you were going around and testing, yeah, probably. You just turn into a pile of fluffy feathers.
So, all right. So, let me see. Is it possible? All right. Is it possible for Josiah to like stick his head through this staticky stuff, like do like a no clip thing?
Well, the staticky stuff isn't in midair or anything. It's kind of, you only feel it when you're touching surfaces near one of these breaks. You guys have walked through a fair few numbers of like these crossovers before, like when you're walking to the barn and then walking over to the mailbox and stuff. You can't feel it just in the air. It's only when you are specifically touching stuff that is right next to those changes.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Well, for the time being, Josiah will continue to be, I guess, puzzled and, touching.
Yeah, fair enough. Iaz, did you want to do anything while this strange bird is progressively getting floofier and floofier as it touches things?
Well, he would notice that. He perked his head up and asks, "Hey, what's happening there?"
Josiah just like stops for a minute, and he's like, I'm trying to figure out why it feels this over here, and it doesn't feel this way over here. And he goes and he takes his hand and he puts it over there where the most static is, and his feathers go poof. And he's like, oh, and you see, like, there's, you touch it here, and then if you go over here and you touch it, and then he touches it and his feathers just go down and stuff. And he's like, I'm trying to figure out why is it doing that?
Well, that's easy. This place is broken.
But why? What's broken it?
Don't know. But this cliff is rather big, and you're only checking the surface. Mm-hmm. Is it possible that we should check the lower part? Or the edge?
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean by edge? Because like what you've been checking, you guys are at the bottom of the cliff, so it's basically
we're at the bottom.
Sorry if I was saying it wasn't clear enough about that before.
That's okay. Maybe touch the walls, or have you been touching the walls?
Yeah, he's just finding it very puzzling. I think he understands that this place is broken somehow, but he's not understanding, why does it feel this certain way this way, and it feels this way, that sort of thing. So, because obviously he doesn't have anything better to do than hold it just and the door handle. So he might as well go and pet the wall.
You two just abandoned the door as well.
I can imagine, Qherial, you're just kind of standing there with the pigeon, the pigeon kind of flaps in midair, just watching all this nonsense going on, going, what the fuck?
Okay, well, what about, maybe what he's trying to do is maybe he's trying to see if there's a way out of this place, maybe a little door or something that he's overlooking. So, he's just kind of touching it. And you know how people do in the movies and stuff when they're is there a secret panel here or something like that? I think he's doing something along those lines.
Okay, all right. I'm going to keep going off that 18 you rolled before, and I will actually tell you, you now notice something that only Iaz noticed before, which is those cracks in places. And, as you are doing this investigation, you notice that, there isn't just static. As you kind of get right up to the edge and you place your hand right on the part where it joins, there's it doesn't transition smoothly from ground to ground. There is basically a hairline crack in the ground. And you can also notice that other parts and pieces, there seem to be kind of holes where bits of the sky have kind of fallen out, except it's not the sky, it's kind of the mid-air. And they're not big holes, but this whole place seems to be filled with little fractures.
Mm-hmm. Is there any way he could, like, pry open, like, stick something in the fracture and see if you could open it up or
Do
something
you have
like
something you could stick in the fracture?
Well, let me see. What do I have?
Door hinges.
Equipment.
You do still have a number of pieces of order piece of paper. You also have your hammer space, which is kind of.
Again, I'm sorry.
You do still have a couple of order forms left, so you could take advantage of the mailbox. The other thing is you do also have your hammer space, which you can kind of just pull shit out of.
Mm-hmm. Did I put down? I was thinking that I had. Yeah, and we have a chainsaw.
Yeah, you always have the chainsaw.
I was thinking that he had something along the lines of like a calligrapher's thing or something. I thought maybe I had put something down, or had I? Because I was thinking maybe if he's got the calligrapher's thing, then surely there's like a little knife or something in it that you can use. So.
It doesn't look like you have one, but I will say you do have, like, if you've got a crossbow and a bunch of crossbow bolts, you could always just use one of, like, your arrows to pry it open.
Okay, all right, that's what I'm going to try to do then.
All right, give me a strength check.
Oh, this should be good.
Yeah, none of you are good at this.
All right, D20, right? 14.
Okay, with a 14, you don't quite manage to full-on crack it open, but you can kind of, like, you jab the arrow there and you try and lever it open. And the arrow snaps, but the head's still stuck in there. And it's open, like, a couple of like, about an inch now, and you can kind of see through it, and you see movement, but it's very steady, mechanical sort of movement.
Oh, okay. All right.
Break some more.
All right. For a minute there, I was thinking of, like, I was thinking if I could have a chance, if I had a chance to actually, like, make the throw or whatever, it'd be like one of those things, like you open up, like the thing in, like, the cartoons where he, like, opens up the door and he opens up and he's like, ah, and he's like shuts it back right quick.
Yeah, fair enough. No, thankfully enough, there is nothing there. I do have to say, Qherial, can I get a quick perception check from you real quick, please? Because you're still standing there next to the pigeon, and I want to see if you see this. And if you see it, then how you will react. That's a 13, so you actually do only just. You are very much paying attention to whatever the heck this guy is doing. Jabbing an arrow into the ground there. What the hell? But you're not, like, ignoring the pigeon so much that you miss it when... As that crack gets wider, the pigeon kind of stutters, and for a very, very tiny split second, it's not a pigeon, it's just a bunch of, like, metal and gears floating in midair, and, like... What? But no, then it's just a pigeon again. It's a pigeon, it's a pigeon.
Wow. Oh, wow. Okay.
What?
If you had rolled higher, I would be able to give you, like, more details, but as far as you know, the pigeon glitched. You saw something there, like, that looks like metal. Nope, pigeon again. Just a pigeon.
It would be mediocre, though.
Mm-hmm. Qherial's like, wait, do that again. Qherial. Poke it again, let's see what it does.
Yeah, poke it again.
He does not know what's happening to the pigeon, but he's a little concerned.
Woo!
about the crack.
Okay, do you try and lever the crack open some more?
I could give it a shot again, I guess, or poke it.
Yeah.
Might as well, right? All right. What the hell? Okay. Let's see here.
That's an 8. No, sadly, like that with that other arrowhead jammed in, that's about as far open as you're gonna get it. So like, you jab in another arrow, you try to lever, but like no, this thing is well and truly stuck. It doesn't want to come apart right now. And the pigeon, who I'm guessing Qherial's keep a close eye on now, does not glitch out again.
Oh. Okay. And it's like, it's just silence over Qherial, and he was just like, what did I do?
Weird stuff happened, but it's fine. I think it was probably just my imagination.
Right.
I am interested in what you're doing. What are you doing?
Well, I'm trying to figure out because you see there's like this little crack here. And when I was trying to pry it open, there appeared to be like machinery or something down there, and you know what I think is a good idea right now. Why don't we go ahead and start building on that door? That sounds like a good idea.
What if we drop something in there and see what it does?
Do you want to?
I'm thinking we shouldn't be breaking this place even more. Shouldn't we try to fix it? Can we order some universal fixing glue?
Universe fixing glue. Universe fixing glue. There you go.
Yeah, Qherial wants to see what happens if you drop something in there.
Oh no!
All right. I'm gonna question. Is Iaz gonna stop Qherial then in that case, or are you just gonna like do it sneakily?
No, I don't think she's
excuse me. Can you?
Iaz, you go first.
I'm sorry, I didn't get much of that. What's going on?
Okay, so Qherial, you plan on dropping something through that gap because like an inch isn't very wide, but it's just enough that you would be able to drop something small down there. Are you making it clear what you're going to do, or are you going to try and hide it?
I'm like crouching on the ground, and I'm gonna like. Are there pebbles or anything?
Yeah, there are small rocks and everything on like the desert side of things.
Actually, I'm gonna pull one out of my hammer space instead, because like those rocks might not be real.
All right, fair enough. So Iaz, you see this happening. You see Qherial crouched over this gap with a small object in her hand. Do you want to do anything?
Yes. Yes is concerned about this gap, even though he didn't see what happened to the pigeon metal thing, but he doesn't want to tamper with it. So he drops the chainsaw on the ground and rushes over to Qherial. Is that right?
No.
Bad news.
Wait, no, please, no.
Oh no.
So that chainsaw you just dropped on the ground, apparently that was enough to start it up. This is not me doing this is not me just as the DM choosing to cause chaos. This was me having rolled a 1. So that chainsaw, you drop it on the ground, going to stop Qherial, and then and this chainsaw starts just buzzing about the ground. Can I get a dexterity check a dexterity saving throw from both Iaz and Josiah, please, because you're the two standing next to the chainsaw.
Oh boy. Oh.
Oh, so that's an 8
well,
and a...
that's the end of that.
No, guys, because you got to remember to add your dexterity saving throws, which is a that's a 2 to that. That's a okay. So that's a 10 and a 7, neither of which is very high. Thankfully, it's high enough that I'm not going to kill either of you, but this chainsaw is coming for your legs. It is chasing after you. It's not just going randomly, this thing is out for blood.
The chainsaw's like your legs, hand them over.
And it seems to be out for Iaz's blood in particular, and I am actually going to make you take a little bit of damage here for this. Please take 1 damage as this chainsaw nips at your ankles.
Ouch. Ouch. Can Josiah attempt to clamber over the nearest thing that will get him away from
yeah, please.
Let me see how bad he can feel this one.
Roll me either acrobatics or athletics, your choice.
Okay. All right. Okay, I rolled the 20.
Okay, with
acrobatics, athletics. Okay.
Okay, with a 14, I'm gonna say you managed to get up on this nice big rock, and it's not a super tall rock, but it means you're not on ground level anymore. So while this a chainsaw is going and chasing after yes,
it's like an angry dog barking at the face.
Pretty much. I do have to ask, Qherial, what are you doing as this chainsaw runs amok?
I'm going to assume that I'm aware there's a chainsaw.
Oh, absolutely. You've got these two screaming and the chainsaw making a lot of noise. It's pretty hard to ignore.
Before I try to get out of the way, I'm going to go ahead and drop that thing into the crack.
Okay. Let me just...
And now no one's going to
That's dedication.
Oh, shit. Okay. Sorry, give me just one moment, because I had to roll a D100 there, because I had a feeling this would happen going into this game. I did not expect the luck to be quite like this, while there is still a chainsaw running amok. It's not below a 10, so you're not instantly dead.
Oh no.
No, I would not have actually... I wouldn't have instantly killed you, it's okay. But that's a 17 out of 100, which is not very high. So there's this moment where in the background, you've got Iaz and Josiah trying to avoid this bloodthirsty chainsaw. And as the camera just follows this tiny pebble as it drops through the gap, and it clink, bounces off another piece of metal, clink, bounces off something that looks like a giant gear, clink, 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 rattles down this tiny little gap here, and then clink, gets caught in 2 gears, causing them to jam up. And the camera cuts back to all 3 of you back on the surface. And you just hear this massive...
Oh dear.
as the whole carriage shudders around you. As you watch these tiny hairline fractures that have existed throughout the whole carriage start getting wider, or they start crushing into each other. And while there had been a rather pleasing swirling mishmash of the 2 environments before, now they are grinding against each other like geological plates as they are shifting. And I'm gonna need a dexterity save from all 3 of you real quick to see how well you can keep your balance.
I don't have a lot of confidence here.
You've broken shit, and the person running the train is going to be very upset, I would like to let you know.
Oh no.
Not only did you ignore, they do not tamper.
We broke it.
You broke it. Fuck. Okay. That's a... Okay, that's
my first...
What you call it?
Alright, that is a 10 from Iaz. Oh dear. That is a, that's actually a 15 from Josiah, because you keep forgetting to add your modifiers.
Yes, I did. Sorry.
And a 23 from Qherial. So Qherial, obviously, because you were closest to see this happen, while you get hit by the largest shudder, like the moment that happens, you kind of hop into the air with a wing flap, and you are safe on your feet as the world shudders around you. With that 15, Josiah, while you are up on this rock, you are shuddering. You almost get knocked off the rock because, hey, this was a pretty high dex check. But you managed to just about cling on, but you are kind of very briefly almost knocked off your feet. However, with that 10, Iaz, I'm afraid,
while jumping on his one foot.
Oh no!
You with an injured foot, with that chainsaw still coming after you, though it has rattled a bit off track as the world shakes. You are knocked flat, and I do actually just need to check what this fucking chainsaw is doing. The chainsaw is still coming for you, but it does not. Roll me quickly another dexterity saving throw to see if you manage to roll out of the way of this chainsaw as it rattles towards you as the world shakes. This is not going well. Please. Okay, that's a 14. That's high enough. You see this chainsaw coming in. You can't get back on your feet. You know you can't, but you manage to roll out of the way as the chainsaw comes apart. And as you guys are watching, again, the world has not stopped grinding against each other. This shaking continues. I will say, like, after a few minutes, you guys, or not a few minutes, like after a couple of seconds, you guys managed to get back on your feet. Anyone that had fallen over, the world is still shaking and crashing into each other. Shit is getting destroyed. The pigeon has been glitching out like crazy and has been flickering between pigeon and roadrunner, and sparrow and hawk and penguin and what, and eventually it just and breaks, and small gears and pieces of metal go flying everywhere. And what do you guys want to do?
Qherial.
Qherial's a little bit horrified.
Like he's just like, poor Josiah, just like clinging to the top, and he's like, What's happening?
She's horrified by like the pigeon and like the world falling apart, but I don't think she regrets it.
Qherial was like, I regret nothing.
Chaos.
Chaos.
It was all in the name of science.
That's right.
He is so pissed off. But at the same time, he has to worry about a chainsaw. So, can he see Josiah up on the rock?
Yes.
If I'm being correct. Can he try to rush over to the rock and climb up it?
Yeah, make me either acrobatics or athletics, your choice. You are at disadvantage with the world shaking as it is.
Yeah, and the foot. The injury.
Yeah, pretty much. It was only 1 health point. You're fine, except you're not, because the world's crumbling around you.
How do you do acrobatics without advantage? I don't know.
Okay, it's basically when you have advantage on something, then you just roll the dice twice with the same thing, and then you take the higher of the numbers.
Dice twice.
So it's like if you're doing it with acrobatics... what you do is just roll d20 plus 5, because the plus 5 is your bonus for acrobatics, and you see what the result is for that, and then you roll d20 plus 5 again, and then you pick the higher of the numbers out of those two rolls.
Plus 5?
Well, that's your bonus for acrobatics. So because you're making an acrobatics skill check, that's what you roll. And this is why I
have a +2 in my sheet, but I guess I'm just.
Oh, am I? Oh, it's okay. If it's acrobatics, then no, because this isn't just a dexterity roll. This is specifically like a skill check for acrobatics, and you're proficient in acrobatics, so you have your proficiency bonus to that as well.
So I roll once again?
Yep, you roll again, and hopefully you'll be higher than 7. That's a 17, that's a lot better. Yes, you managed to scrabble up onto the rock as well, carefully clinging to it as the world rends itself around you. And you guys are being able to see more and more of the machinery that seems to exist beneath this facade of a landscape, as bits and pieces are falling from the sky, from the walls, and the ground is tearing itself asunder, and you can see gears grinding into each other, breaking apart. Hear steel screaming as it rubs up against each other in ways that these gears definitely should not be. And what do you guys want to do now?
Oh dear.
You are safe from the chainsaw for now.
Okay. The chainsaw got eaten by the crack or something like that, probably.
Yeah, probably by this point.
Why didn't we just build the door? Why did we just build the door?
That's what happens in the Pigeon Carriage.
You yelled at Qherial. What did you throw in there?
A rock. Okay.
Why did you do that?
I don't know. I thought it would do something, and it did, but it's not good.
It did something. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? What are we going to do?
So Qherial's gonna try to get out, because she caused it, but she doesn't want these two to, die in the void.
So what do you plan on doing? How are you going to get out?
Where's Qherial right now?
Unfortunately, we never found an exit. So
Qherial is probably around 15 feet away from you guys on top of your rock.
I'm gonna roll perception to see if I can see anything that would possibly help.
Let's see.
Okay.
Alright, so 15's not bad. I'm actually going to do something else here just to see how lucky you guys are. Just gonna make a straight up luck roll on your behalf. That's a 17. You guys are rather lucky. Thankfully, Lalo is looking down on you at this point in time. With that 15, you spot that while the world is tearing itself apart and some things are grinding together while others are ripping apart, you notice that the cliff face and the barn, those two sections there, they seem to be coming apart more than anything else. And you can just about glimpse that hint of red of, at least half the door at the back that you could see before.
Mm-hmm. Oh, where's the carriage door at this point? The thing that we got in the mail, the door thing.
That's probably at this point in time lying on the ground right near the rock that you're on top of.
Say that again. I'm sorry.
The carriage door that you mail ordered is lying on the ground next to the rock that you guys are on top of, along with the red paint and paintbrushes and stuff.
Okay. Because I was thinking, I don't know that Josiah would actually do this, but he might look at it and look at that and say, he's gesturing frantically, use that as a wedge. Keep it. Somebody stick it in the crack or something. So maybe we can get out.
Yeah, let's do that.
All right.
What are we doing right now? Are we breaking it even more?
Picking up the wrong door and trying to fit it in.
Are you just sticking it in a crack near you, or are you taking it to a specific crack in particular?
Does someone else grab it, or should I grab it?
The crack that you mentioned before, Kai, I think the one that you said the interesting crack. I can't remember what it was.
let's just say you can kind of trace where the crack between like the cliff face and the barn sort of thing. You can trace where that's coming from, and you found like a point that's near you that isn't massively wide yet, but it's just wide enough that you might be able to wedge a handy thing into.
Yes.
A handy thing?
Well, I mean the door. You've got the door.
Okay.
All right. Are all three of you doing this together?
I guess so.
Yeah.
All right. In that case, I'm going to need all three of you to make a strength saving throw.
Okay. All right.
So as you jam this door into this crack, and all three of you, like 1, 2, 3, pull, trying to get this crack wider and wider. Oh, that's a 2. Can we get better than 2, please? Oh, that's a 16. 16's good. All right, one final.
We're all like throwing it in our heads and trying to running towards the door, and I'm just grabbing onto it.
Oh God! Well,
the ground not helping at all.
Oh God. Well, good news is combined, that is a high enough roll for you three grabbing onto this door and just heaving with all your might, and you are pulling again. The ground is shaking beneath you, and as you are pulling on this, you are just making it shake even more, but you can feel this crack widening, and as you look down where it traces, you can see the cliff face coming apart from the barn even more and more, and while half the barn is still completely gone, it's been destroyed, those planes are missing, you can spot the other half of the door being pulled out from inside the cliff face, and it is sitting there right on the very edge of this giant crack that opens into masses of machinery beneath you, but the door's there and it is whole.
Oh, okay. So are we like heading to the door, or
no? You're not actually. I mean, if you're heading to the door, I'm going to need dexterity saving throws from all three of you, except for Qherial, if you are choosing to fly.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right. Well, let me. Okay, I'm trying to like mentally picture this. So we like cracked open the cliff face here, and the other half of the door is just like wedged in there in the machinery, or what is it?
Pretty much. It's kind of the door. The door isn't wedged into the machinery. The door is exactly where it was placed before, at the back of the barn. It's just, the barn's kind of being torn apart by everything that's going on. And like, there's kind of like the edge goes right up to, covering half the door. So there is solid ground beneath half the door, and that was the part you could see before. However, beneath the second half of the door that had been previously embedded to the cliff and now has been torn out, there is no solid ground beneath it. It's just emptying out. It's just like the machinery beneath.
Okay.
Okay. I have Long Strider, which gives you 10 extra feet of speed per turn. It lasts an hour, but can I use it to give them advantage on the dexterity throw if they're making it?
Absolutely. I'm gonna say like this is kind of the equivalent of traveling across like rough terrain, which would generally half your speed. So if you've got Long Strider, I'm gonna say that's gonna give you advantage on your dex saving throws for the equivalent of this. I'm playing very fast and loose with the rules.
I'm gonna cast it at level 2, so both of you get it.
Okay. Let's see. Now, question: Did Josiah see like Qherial? Like, no, he didn't. Did he? He didn't see the little thing you dropped in there.
I think you were preoccupied with the chainsaw.
Yeah, I think that the chainsaw was a distraction. Well, okay, all right. So Josiah's going to go over there to Qherial and because I think I have the flimsiest idea here. I don't know if it'll work or not. But he goes over there to Qherial, and he's all like puts his hands out like this. He's like, "What did you do?"
I made a decision and it had poor consequences. Let's go.
No, forget. No. What did you do specifically?
I dropped a rock into the crack in reality.
I dropped a rock. It landed, I know not where.
And things got crunchy.
Yes. Okay. And just Josiah. Okay. So Josiah has a thing called mending that and I was wondering if there was any way that he could maybe cast that at the rock to fix it, to stop everything from going crazy, I guess.
You didn't know what mending was earlier, and now you have it?
Well, I mean, I'm trying to figure out the logistics of it. If he just accidentally does that and just looks at his finger "Whoa, wait, what?"
Oh god, I want to give this to you because on one hand, you coming across your magic powers in this sort of a situation is absolutely astounding. On the other hand, that rock is long fucking gone. So I don't actually think it's close enough. What's the range on mending?
The range on it. Let's see. I'm looking. Range. Touch.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. You can't cast it on the rock. I would love to give this to you. Mock, thank you coming in, being our savior.
Is there any way that he can reach in there and touch one of the gears? Would that do something? Would that happen?
Oh god.
All right, this is going to be the point where I can't, as a DM, I can't stop you, but as the DM, I'm going to strongly advise against it because you'll wind up having to do a bunch of rolls to make sure you do not get your fingers crushed in these gears. And I'm also going to tell you right now that mending is too small a spell to be able to fix the absolute catastrophe that's going on here, even if you fix a single... Yeah. Because the problem is, even if you fix a single gear, everything is crunching against each other. It will probably just get broken again in the next couple of seconds. My advice is leg it to the fucking door.
Okay. All right. We're going to do that. Let's do that. That's good. That's
Come on.
All right, so I'm going to need dexterity saving throws with advantage from both Iaz and I've forgotten your character's name again. I'm very sorry. I say again, Josiah.
Yes. All right. Okay. I got this second.
Mock, thank you for being our savior and just knowing all the rules for these spells and everything. You're the best.
A question. The door was a little bit hard to push in, right?
Oh.
The door that you were the fake door that you were cramming into the crack to try and get the crack to get wider, that went into the crack easy enough, but you did have to put a lot of effort to pull on it to widen the crack. Josiah, you do have advantage, so you get to roll again and take the higher throw.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Iaz, what are you planning? Or are you just going to run for it as well? That's still 5. I mean...
Is not sure he can run because he feels like the crack needs to be held open for them to get to the door in time.
Ooh.
He thinks he still needs to push the door in.
Ooh.
So that the crack wouldn't fix itself.
Okay.
Wouldn't close.
This is a very amazing character moment and I love it. Can I get you to roll just a straight up, I reckon, I reckon your choice between wisdom and intelligence, what are you better at?
Let's see. Wisdom.
Wisdom, okay. Please make me a, are you sure you're better at, have I got an outdated character sheet of yours? Because it says here you're actually better at intelligence.
Yes, I have sent you an updated character sheet later because I figured I have messed up a lot with it.
Okay, I must not have gotten that sheet then. Okay, yeah, in that case, yeah, go with...
Sorry.
That's okay. In that case, yeah, I'm just going to close this because obviously your character sheet is not accurate here, so there's no point me looking at that. Yeah, roll me a saving throw for either wisdom or intelligence, whichever you're better at.
Uh-huh.
Because I wanna see what... Okay, that's a 16. Alright, so you have this gut instinct in you that's telling you that you need to hold this gap open so that these other two can get to the door in time. However, you said this was wisdom? So in that case, with with a 16, as you are watching, you can kind of see, even as you're pulling on this door, you've stopped heaving against it, but this crack is still getting wider and wider. So obviously there's other things going on here than just you pulling on the door. I'm not going to stop you from doing what you feel is most appropriate for your character. I can just tell you that what you can kind of see is that the crack's getting wider whether or not you are pulling on the door.
Oh, well, that's a relief for him, so he can scoot over to the door as well.
Okay, good.
The door.
Yeah, I'm sorry, like, I love that. I love that character moment of wanting to stay there to hold it open so his friends could get to the door. I love that. I don't want you to die, please.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I felt like it.
No, that's fair. It was beautiful. I love it. Make me a dexterity saving throw with advantage because thanks to Qherial's spell.
Also, Ias can do Expeditious Retreat. Can he cast that, or does he not need to? Can he cast that?
I'm gonna say that, yeah, you can cast it if you want, and you will just be able to go, but at the same time, like, I need you to roll dexterity to see how well you manage to stay on your feet as you are running for the door. And I will get to Josiah's absolutely abysmal rolls in a minute.
Oh, I know. Oh my god.
Dexterity saving throw?
Dexterity
with
saving
advantage?
throw. Yeah, so roll it twice and take the higher number.
Uh-huh.
That was a dirty 20 to start with. Let's see if you can get a 25, maybe. An 18. All right, so with that 20 and with Expeditious Retreat, you are out of there. The moment you realize you don't need to be holding this door anymore, Iaz, you are gone. You are sprinting towards that door, and you've got a spell to make sure that you get there even faster. You are very light on your feet as you are hopping over the rubble and cracks opening up beneath you, and you manage to get to the door with no trouble. Qherial, you are flying, which in good news does mean you manage to actually avoid a lot of the nonsense that's going on under your feet. Can you make me a dex saving throw real quick just to see if you can manage to avoid falling debris? It's not going to be a very high dex check, like dice check, but I do need to make sure you manage to dodge it, basically.
It's a save, right?
Yes, please. Alright, 12. Yeah, good news is 12 is just high enough that you do manage to avoid getting conked on the head, but you don't manage to get all the way over to the door. You actually have to pull up short as something goes falling down and clonks right in front of you. So you are not quite at the door, meaning that as you turn around and you see Josiah, who has his foot stuck in a crack.
Oh boy.
Oh,
I'm in
no.
danger.
This crack doesn't seem to be getting any wider, but it doesn't seem to be getting any smaller either. So, yeah. Okay. Josiah, what do you want to do? Your foot's stuck.
Oh,
Someone
wow. He's panicking. He's pulling on it. Oh gosh, let's see. He's try. I mean, I guess I could try to see if he could yank it out or not. I'm not really trusting the rolls today, but let's see here.
Yeah, roll me strength saving throw.
Yeah. Oh wow. Yeah.
That's a -1 for you. That's a 5 total.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, no, your foot is well and truly stuck, and you're fairly sure if you keep yanking on that, you might actually do some damage.
Mm-hmm. Oh, boy.
Did Iaz already reach the door by the time this happened?
Yeah, Iaz, you are at the door. You haven't been able to see exactly what's going on. You just know the other two aren't with you yet.
Okay.
I think he turns around to see why they're behind.
Yeah, I'm okay. In that case,
I don't know if you'll notice much.
Yeah, what you can see, like, there is a lot of falling debris, and it's kicking up a lot of dust, so it's difficult to see exactly what's going on. But you do notice that Qherial is, like, in the air about halfway to the door compared to where you were before. And for whatever reason, Josiah is back right where you guys started before all this.
Qherial's gonna turn around and try to get Josiah out of there.
Aw.
Alright, if you're just tugging, then please make please make a strength saving throw. Just because you are tugging with all your fucking life.
Alright. Do I need to make one too? Or no, she needs one. Okay, alright.
Okay, with a 15, yeah, that's enough. I will say you do actually manage to get the foot out. However, you are going to be taking a little bit of damage from that. So yeah, not you. Josiah, please take 5 damage as your foot is forcefully yanked out of this. That's painful. It's not enough to stop you, but you're fairly sure you've got maybe like an injured ankle going on there. So it's not fun to walk on that anymore.
Ouch.
Good news is, you're free.
So let's see. Qherial's like yanked him free, right? So Qherial's trying to decide what she needs to do right now. And Josiah is like seeing, but like Josiah's going to take a minute, and he's going to look down at his foot, and he's going to look over there where what's his Daz? What was it again?
Yes.
I'm yeah, yes, thank you. Iaz is gone. Qherial just yanked him out of there, and it's just at that moment, like, he just realizes if she doesn't get going, something's gonna happen. So
all right.
He starts shaking his head really, really fast, and he just shoves at Qherial, and he goes, run, get out of here, go.
I'm not gonna leave you. We have to go. And she's trying to.
I'm not. Yeah, exactly. Like they're probably like engaged in like a little slappy fight right about now. They're just like.
Alright. What do you do? Josiah, are you running as well? You're gonna have a hard time. You're only gonna be able to move.
I know. He's slipping, but I think he kind of realizes it's just like, this isn't any use, and I'm just slowing him down, and this is
Qherial, do you stay with him, or do you head towards the door? Because again, Iaz is still waiting over by the door, and Iaz, have you tried opening the door, or are you just waiting next to it?
He's waiting next to the door. I would love to make him help, but he doesn't know what's going on exactly.
Yeah.
So he's just yelling, "Hey, what's going on there?"
All right.
And he's just like, Josiah at this point is just like, you can see like there's little tears starting to well up in his eyes, and he just shoves at Qherial again, and he's just like, will you just please go?
Qherial's crying also. She's
No.
I'm not gonna leave you here. And she's gonna try cure wounds.
Okay, absolutely. Yeah, roll to see how much you heal. Because again, with this, I'm not going to make you guys ever do spellcasting checks. The spell happens.
All right.
Wait. Do I have to roll?
Or... Yeah, you have to roll, like, to see how much it heals for.
Oh, that's a +5. That's nice.
Ah.
Okay.
So the good news is, no matter what, you will be healing it completely.
Okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
All right, with a wonderful
Nice.
10. Okay, as Qherial kind of like pushes against you in this little slap fight you're doing, going like, "I won't leave you behind." Josiah, you feel a wash of magic just go through your body, and it sinks down, and you can feel it prickling into your like injured foot. And suddenly your foot feels so much better, and you're not quite sure how well you can recognize this as magic. You can definitely recognize it as magic, though, and you are completely healed.
All right. He's just like Josiah just like blinks for a second, and I think what he's gonna do is he's just gonna take Qherial and he's just gonna book it for that door.
Yep.
Just grab by the wing, and he's just like
she squawks in protest. She can actually go faster by herself.
All right.
and he's like, I'm trying to help. He's trying to help.
I'm not going to make you make any rolls for this. I'm going to say you get over the door. You are reunited with Iaz. Like, you have about 10 seconds of conversation worth before I, as the DM, take over.
Okay, all right. Just like, yeah, blah, 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 blah. So okay, all right. So we're running, right? And we made it to the door yet, or we're just running towards the door?
Like, you're running towards the door. You're basically at the door, though. You're within yelling distance, certainly.
All right. Okay. Well, Josiah is just like, he's just like shaking his head as he's like running. You know, I guess they're just like stumbling up against each other, and he was just like, "That was foolish. That was foolish. That was foolish. That was foolish."
Qherial, are you yelling anything?
Yes, tries to.
She's like full of adrenaline.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing.
just like hefts him up. Like,
God, Iaz, sorry, I did interrupt you there. What were you about to say?
No, it's fine. Iaz tries to pull the door open.
Yes, the handle easily turns. That weird staticky feeling that was on the door before is gone, and the door opens and shows blinding light. And I think you've got a split second to yell anything out at each other that you choose to right now before I take over here.
Iaz would let the other two go through the door first. Okay. He opened the door for them.
Oh.
Oh, that's so nice. Thank you. That's just Josiah runs by. He's just so like, thank you.
Before Qherial runs past him, Iaz yells, "Be careful next time."
Oh.
Don't do that again.
Qherial's just like going, go, 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 and dives through the door.
All right. And Iaz, you dive through too?
Yep.
All right. As all three of you are enveloped by this glowing light of the doorway, you are taken away to different points of the train just in time as this carriage just collapses in on itself and the door behind you is destroyed. Thankfully, all three of you managed to make it out safe, though who knows what this is gonna do later down the line, and who knows where all three of you are gonna wind up next, because one thing that none of your characters know is that you don't know that people get split up when you go through the doors. So you don't know what's going to happen at the other end.
Yeah.
And with this, as we close in on that light winking out as the door is destroyed, as the carriage tears itself apart, that's the end of this session. Thank you so much for playing. You were all absolutely wonderful.
Yay!
This went twice as long. This went twice as long as I was originally hoping, but it was an absolute delight. I love all three of you. You work great together. Oh
my goodness.
Sorry, this went like an hour longer than you wanted.
That's okay. This was a fucking delight. This was a great game. This was a fantastic follow-up to the Pigeon Carriage, because you created chaos all of your own. It wasn't just, oh yes, let's do silly nonsense. It's, let's tear apart the entire train, why not?
Yes, exactly.
Oh, God.
We certainly made a name for ourselves.
Absolutely. Welcome to the train. And
we broke a carriage, yes.
You guys were all a delight to play with, seriously. Sadly,
Thank you. You were very wonderful.
Thank
DM.
you.
Thank you so much.
Sadly, you do not get to walk away with this with many prizes because you broke everything, and you didn't, go getting anything from the mailbox. You didn't even get to keep the bloodthirsty chainsaw, sadly.
Oh, darn.
But I will say...
But we're alive, at least. This is good.
You are alive. And with that, could I get everyone to say goodbye real quick so I can wrap up this recording?
All right, no problem. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Goodbye.